I'm going to go through some common evacuation methods that you can adopt in your work premises. First of all, for a mobility impaired, you've got evacuation chairs. Now, where this is the preferred method of escape, the responsible person will provide an evacuation chair, and it can be allocated to a particular person. It can be kept by them or kept close to a refuge where they can basically get out from. Now, in the case of a visitor who requests this method of escape, the person who is responsible for booking them into the building should contact the appropriate responsible person to arrange for one to be brought to the most suitable part of the building or where they're going to be. So in other words, we've got evacuation chairs. Where should we put them so we can use it in an emergency? It should then be returned to the central storage point. Now, in buildings with an uncontrolled and unknown population, it may be advisable to provide evacuation chairs at suitable points within the building. Doesn't mean you have to do it on every floor, at suitable points within the building. Possibly one on each staircase, but again, that sometimes could be over the top. You could have them on the ground floor where the evacuation team are going to take them up, or on the top floor. Provision evacuation chairs on the top floor of a building with a communication system that allows them to be brought down immediately to any refuge may be an acceptable solution, depending on the fire safety arrangements in place and the individual circumstances. Now, provision evacuation chairs should always be accompanied by a full system of escape for disabled people, as they are only part of the solution. Don't just buy an evacuation chair, leave it there and say we comply. You need trained staff. You've got to make sure your staff know how to use them. Now, how do these work then? Well, they look like deck chairs with skis and wheels underneath. And when placed on the stairway, it slides down the stairs. Now, there are wheels at the back of them to facilitate going along the flat, but not suitable for long periods, but they're basically like skis and they go down. Shows you on this video here, this shows you how it works. There's the operation, and there shows you how a person walks down the stairs. That shows you the operation of an evacuation chair, how it works down the stairs. Now, evacuation chair is operated by one or two people and does require training and practice. Disabled people may not feel comfortable using these chairs, and it's not always possible to transfer them into an evacuation chair or to maintain a sitting position once seated in one of these. Therefore, evacuation chairs should not be considered as an automatic solution to the escape requirements of wheelchair users. As we've discussed all the way through it, you need to discuss it. It's unlikely that evacuation chairs will be much use unless both the user and the operator are well trained. And again, make sure this is well it's implemented. As soon as you put the chairs in there, you've got to make sure you've got training. What about carrying people down in their own wheelchairs? Well, it's possible to move a person down a stairway in a number of ways using their own chair as an aid. Now, this is where you've got to carry down by 2, 3 or 4 people. Can be done by holding the wheelchair at one end of the fixed point situated in each corner of the wheelchair. The team then lifts the wheelchair up and moves it down the stairs. Now, many wheelchair users will be able to point this out at the time. But again, you've got to make sure you've got adequate training. If your staff aren't comfortable, you don't recommend this method. It's still a dangerous method, not really recommended, but it is possible. What about carrying down using an office chair? Now, this can be used when a person does not have a wheelchair and it is suitable to carry down with. For example, a large motorised chair. I mean, one of them, you're not going to get someone down the stairs in them. They weigh a couple of 100 kilos. So you can't get them. You might consider using an office chair. Now, any stable office chair can be used, although preferably it be one with armrests. And this carry down is facilitated in the same way as using a wheelchair. You know the number of people. But again, all of these have risks, and you have to assess the risks. Ultimately, does that person need to go down there immediately? Have you got an adequate refuge? Do you have to do it? If you don't, you use your refuge. You've got to justify why you're doing any other method. In an emergency, if there's imminent danger of death, then you're going to do this. But again, health and safety is paramount. Another option is the evacuation mats. Now, these evacuation mats are an alternative to evacuation chairs, because sometimes evacuation chairs are cumbersome, they're hard to get people out, they're not always the best option. Evacuation mats are an option. And these are good. Using these now a lot of care premises. I'm going to show you some video footage that fully explains what an evacuation mat, how it operates. Watch this video footage.
A new revolution in the effective transportation of patients in emergency situations is here. The LBAC mat, your evacuation and rescue necessity. The Albac mat is an innovative, compact and lightweight stretcher-like assembly which is used to quickly and efficiently evacuate frail, immobile or unconscious people away from potential life-threatening situations. The Albac mat is made from customized corrugated polypropylene board with a strong lightweight canvas material weighing less than 1 kilogram. The polypropylene board acts as an insulator to the patient, absorbing any concussions while in transit. This means it will travel over all types of surfaces, including steps and rough terrain such as gravel and bitumen, with the patient safely cocooned in the Albac mat. The board glides easily over these surfaces, as well as carpet and other indoor flooring, minimizing the effort required by rescuers to evacuate patients. All Albac mat straps are made from first-grade seatbelt material, are brightly coloured for easy detection, and are double-stitched to the canvas for heavy weight-bearing situations. The Albac mat has been tested to withstand up to 470 kilograms of weight. There are two sizes of the Albac mat, standard and large. Both sizes carry the same features, with the exception of the larger being wider at the torso, having carry handles down each side, an extra securing strap and a thermal cover for greater patient comfort. The unique patented Albac mat has been finalized over a lengthy period to ensure its suitability in all types of situations and is manufactured from materials which have been chosen for their practicality and ability to provide longer protection from fire and heat. The polypropylene board has been tested to provide maximum protection up to 85 degrees Celsius. The following instructions highlight the easy-to-use system required to evacuate patients quickly. Lift the Albac mat from its storage position, ensuring the Velcro tab is facing you. Stand at the foot end of the bed or place of rest, keeping hold of the handle, and with a flick of the wrist unroll the Albac mat beside the patient. Roll the patient onto their side and ensure the Albac mat is laid out flat behind the patient and as close to their back as possible. Roll the patient onto the center of the mat. Place the patient's feet in the foot pocket and then secure the torso with the side straps. Using the most comfortable of the three straps at the head end of the mat, move the patient to the designated assembly point. Once the emergency situation has passed, the Albac mat can be easily wiped clean and rolled back up for storage and possible future use. There are 5 good reasons why your facility needs the Albac mat. 1. Fast evacuations. The Albac mat enables rescuers to move patients out of danger quickly and safely. 2. Occupational health and safety requirements. With correct use, the Albac mat places no physical pressure on the rescuer, enabling them to perform multiple evacuations if required. 3. Multi-purpose. Simple and safe evacuations enable rescuers to move patients over all types of surfaces, is ideal in small areas, and is reusable. 4. Ease of use. Clear instructions are visible to all users, and the Albac mat is simple to use, allowing untrained personnel to perform evacuations safely. 5. Life-saving. Simple and safe evacuations enable rescuers to move patients more quickly in situations where time is critical. If the Albac mat is required, evacuations can be performed with a minimal amount of stress to both the patient and the rescuer because of its simple and effective structure. When used correctly, it places no physical pressure on the rescuer, enabling one person to perform multiple evacuations if required.
That was how an evacuation mat can work, and as you can see, I'm sure you can see some facilities for using this in your workplace. What about letting the person make their own way down slowly? Sometimes the person can get out, but it's going to take some time. Well, some people who use wheelchairs are able to walk, but it's painful. It may be necessary to have a chat with them and say, are you able to get out using suitable handrails and step edge markings? Make sure you've got step edge markings present and you can use this method. The preferred solution in this case is where they leave the building by their own efforts, and it reduces the chances of confusion and the chance of the plan breaking down, because now you've only got one person, they're going to get out themselves, and they may have a rest all the way down in a refuge. That's what they can do. Now, disabled people who choose this independent method of escape are likely to move slowly down the stairs, and it's better for them to possibly wait until the main floor people are gone. What you don't want is someone going really slow and people panicking, getting behind them. So again, it might be good to advise, let the people just go first, because it's safer for the person. And again, don't forget to point out to the person, you are in a protected stairway. It's got at least 30 minutes fire resistance, so you are safe. Let them go down themselves. Now, none of these techniques that I've mentioned should be attempted without appropriate training. All types of carry-down escape techniques require a risk assessment and professional movement and handling training for the operatives. When designing the escape plan, remember to consider what is practical,